understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. Good morning. It's Friday again. And you can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. The biblical question. Why don't you presume others innocent unless proven guilty? Why don't you presume others innocent unless proven guilty? Amazing question. And a lot of you have been responding to the question. And it's nice to see it because it's a little sign that you're working on you. And you got to work on yourself if you want to be free. All right? Also, we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com. JesseLeePeterson.com. And if you're busy running around, doing whatever you're doing, voting now and whatever. If you're doing what you're doing, but you like to listen to the show, and you go to podcast the show later, but you would like to listen as it is happening live, you can. Nothing stop you now. Ain't no stopping me now. I'm on the groove. Ain't no stopping me now. You could listen live anywhere in the world doing whatever you're doing. We are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. And if you're a flat earther, we do have a lot of flat earthers listening to the show. We are also heard up and down the world. Amazing. So you could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. Okay, so it's Friday. And Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Day, right? No specific subjects on Friday. And we've been doing Friday on Friday, Open Line Friday, forever and a day. And so today is Friday. Today is Express Yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
Donald Trump has no character. Well, let me tell you something. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
How do you like my garbage truck?
They treat you like garbage.
He's trying to rape me. Can you help?
Get off here now.
They treat our whole country like garbage with open borders, with...
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
What the? That's joy.
And church morning is on its way.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
What a mess. What a mess. It's amazing that come Tuesday of next week, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, it will be voting time. Another thing that's happening a lot now, I remember when they first started early voting, and many people were against early voting, but the Democrats were for it. They were pushing early voting, and so the Republicans at that time were not pushing early voting in that manner, and then the whole thing went south, right? And now the Republicans apparently are pushing early voting, and they want you to go out and vote. And a lot of people, according to what I hear, a lot of people are going to vote early. And I'm from the old school. When I started voting, it was voting on that Tuesday of voting day. Your job will let you off if you need to be off. The polls stayed open until 8 p.m. so that everyone can go out and get out and vote, right? And then the vote was counted, and by 8 o'clock that night, or before you go to bed that night, you would know who won. That's gone now. Isn't that amazing? Now they want early voting, and no one trusts anyone, and it's just a real mess. And so I wonder, am I going to go vote early this time, which will have to happen today or the weekend, I guess? I'm not sure. And by the way, happy Halloween. You see, I have a Halloween background there. Happy Halloween. Not Halloween, I mean happy Thanksgiving, sorry. Thanksgiving. This is our harvest. Thanksgiving. Halloween is over now as of last night. This is our Thanksgiving back, our sign, all right? Happy Thanksgiving. Amazing. One other thing I will remind you, I hope, as I go through the shows today, this weekend is a daylight saving time. And I guess on Saturday night, you turn your clock back, fall back this Saturday. You don't be late for fellowship, all right? So this Saturday night, fall back, turn your clock back an hour, and it's daylight saving time again. It's unfortunate they won't leave the time alone. But you know what? Somebody got to rule the world, I guess. So daylight saving time this week, time fall back. And don't forget Saturday so you don't be late for church on Sunday. All right? Before I go to the calls here, some of you know I do a lot of counseling, a lot of it. And I counsel with men and women around the world. And it's so jammed right now. I want to encourage you, when you do call for an appointment, family, individual counseling, you can, or couple counseling or whatever, by phone, Skype, or walk-in. Be patient, because it's really is book. And if anyone reschedule or decide not to do it, my office will let you know. We'll let you know. Sometimes that happens. Appointment has to change. They can't get off work or whatever. So, but if you want counseling, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or you can call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 to set up an appointment. The one thing that I've noticed is in common, everybody and their mama who are working on themselves are dealing with this, what I'm about to share with you. They're dealing with it because when you first wake up, you get that little light and you get that little taste of freedom because you've gone and forgiven. You're learning to be present, be still. This is for men and women. Maybe even especially women, but men too. When you first wake up, you want to tell everybody about it. You want to tell your family, your husband, your wife, your children, your so-called friends, hey, forgive, go forgive, right? Or listen to Jesse. and you in your mind you really want to help people, so you kind of share your quote unquote testimony of waking up. And then you find later that even in your own family, blood family, is in the blood, you find that your family members have turned on you. You find that your friends, your husband or your wife or your church have turned on you, and they have formed an army against you in some cases. And so now you feel all alone. You feel like I've lost everybody. I lost everything. I lost everyone. I'm by myself, Jesse, they say. And they start to freak out. They feel bad. They feel worried. They feel lonely. They feel whatever. And they try to get back into the family circle or back into the husband-wife circle, but still it doesn't work. They just don't fit in, because now they have seen the truth a little bit because you haven't seen all of it, but a little bit. And you can't really fit back in. And so now you're lonely. And then you start to hear rumors about yourself from your friends and other people. They're putting you down. They're attacking you. And you just feel so lonely. What do? You feel afraid. And some people, I was talking to some ladies yesterday at different times during the counseling thing. And they felt lonely and lost and scared and embarrassed because they shared some stuff with others and all that kind of stuff, right? And they're like, oh, I'm just afraid now. And what do? They say. The lady's taking really hard. I want you to know that in those moments, and I'm telling you the truth, because this is something that it takes a while for people to see, and they think that what they're feeling, they think that what they're thinking about, what the family member turned on them or their friends or their husband or wife and all that, they think that it's them that feel the fear or feel the worry or feel the loss or feel the whatever, right? And in that, and you do feel it in your body, but it's not you. But they don't know that yet because it's just so painful. And they're like, how long will this last? How long did it take you? And all kind of stuff, right? Because they're so identified with this thing, and they are so hurt by this, what seemed to be a loss of family, friends, and husband, wife, whatever, that they cry and they want to turn back. But they can't, because once you truly wake up, you cannot turn back. So what I want to say to you, to encourage you, hopefully, is to the fear pain that you feel, the sense of loss pain that you feel, that you lost your family, you lost your friends, you're all alone. The thoughts of worry and insecurity and all that emotions that you feel. I want you to know that that's where you want to be. You don't know it yet that that's what you want, because you've been running from that all your life. You've been running away from it in one form or another. Before you woke up, you would feel lonely. What would you do? You would try to find somebody to talk to on the phone, some party or event or something to do, right? You would run. Or you would feel fear. And what will you do when you feel fear? You will find something on the outside to take the fear away. You go on a date, you go to a party, you get drunk, or you get high, or you or you become violent. Something to take the fear away. And all your life you've been trying to take the fear away and never, or the loneliness, and never been able to do it. And now that you're waking up and you're feeling it in an overwhelming way, and you just want to run, I want you to know that's where you want to be. That is what God, the Father, is trying to save you from. And so when that happened, and it happened to every man and woman that truly start working on themselves, it's not one that get past this. But when that happened, I want you to know you've been in prison all of your life because you've been hiding in prison in fear and in loneliness and in sadness and in suicidal thought and anxiety and worry. You've been hiding in that. Even the Christians who confess that Jesus is their Lord and Savior, they're hiding in prison of their imagination, of their ego, of the illusion. It's just an illusion. It's not even real. And so I want to encourage you, men and women, those who really are working on yourself. And you know what I mean by working on yourself. When these things happen and those emotions come, relax in it. Go with it. Live in it. Sleep in it. Drive in it. And don't do anything to escape it. Stay with it. And if people turn against you, because human beings are pure evil, their human heart, their human nature is evil. And the children of the lie will come after you because they hate the light in you. And they remember when you are darkness and you're changing, and they're not ready to change. They love their darkness. And so they're miserable inside, but they're going to come after you too because the spirit of evil doesn't want you to get away. Even in your own family member, your blood. Let it go. Let them go. They've never been real anyway. They've been fake friends, fake family, fake husband, fake wife, fake everything. You're now seeing it. Be glad to see it and let it go. But don't you run from the false life, because that's the false life. The emotions, the worry, the sadness, the loss. You're losing a life, which is a false life, to gain a life. You really are losing a life to gain a life. You got to fight for you. And so let them all go and don't worry, because the truth will take care of you. You don't know this yet, but the truth is life. It will take care of you. It will guide you. It will provide for you. It will lead you, and you will never have to worry. But you got to be willing to let go. Really, you got to be willing to suffer through the pain of overcoming the world. If you're not going to be able to make it all the way with this. Because that ego death feel like you. You have identified with, and ladies, even if you do, because some ladies cry, it's so painful, just let the tears come and let them pass. All right? Don't identify with the tears. And after a while, you will discover, well, who is crying? What am I crying about? But you got to go through it, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be free. And the world will come after you. They were, especially people who grew up with you, people who know you, and they know the darkness that you were in at one time. They're not going to like the fact that you are getting away. And it's not them, it's the evil in them. And they become murderers. You know, God said that anyone that has anger is a murderer. And do not trust an angry person. Anyone that has anger is a murderer. And here are signs of you being a murderer. All right? When you get angry, you're a murderer. You're murdering yourself and you're murdering others around you and the world. When you get lonely, you're a murderer. You're murdering yourself. You're murdering your people around you and the world. You're a murderer. When you want revenge or you want to be like someone else, you just refuse to be you, and you compare yourself to others, you're a murderer. You're murdering yourself and everyone around you. When you want revenge, you're a murderer. When you're suicidal thoughts, you're a murderer. But you don't have to be. You got to let this old nature die. And ladies, because I talked to a couple of ladies yesterday, they're really taking this hard, but they can't give up. They know now that there's another way. They're not sure how long or where that way all the way goes, right? Or how long it lasts. But they know now that there is another way. And they can't give up. You got to make up your mind. You're going to go all the way for life, for your life. You must die. It's not enough to go down to the front of the church and talk that crap, having you accept Jesus, your Lord and Savior. And then you got all these people around you shouting and praising the Lord, and they crying because they see you going down. It's all fake. It's just nothing, really. It's just nothing. It gets you nowhere. And then you go home that night and you cry. But you got Jesus, your Lord and Savior, or you ready to snap at someone, or you ready to gossip about someone, or you're ready to attack because someone said something about you or attack you, or at least defame you. But you accepted Jesus, Lord and Savior. Now you believe. Why is it that your belief is not working? So ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies, you stay with this, and if you lose the world, and you will, because that's what you want to do, and you're losing it without you trying to make yourself lose it, as you're dying from the world, you're overcoming the world, then you can live in the world in perfect peace. You can have perfect peace right here on earth. But you got to fight for you and give the finger to the world. You can do it. It will happen. You got to stay with it. But you got to give up running away from the pain, running away from the ego. You got to face it. And don't be afraid. Fear not, God is with you. And even if you're feeling the fear, don't call the fear you. It will die. And then you'll be amongst the world. You work with people, you do it, but you won't be a part of them. Your tears will be wiped away. But you got to fight for yourself. Human beings are murderers. They're evil. And it's not them that's trying to hurt you. It's the evil spirit in them. And it's evil. These spirits are living in them. And it's controlling them, and they're miserable, but they need more pain, so the spirit sends them out to go after you, to get you to react, so this evil spirit can feel even more alive because it has gotten a reaction from you. It's like when you're married or you're dating, and the husband, the boyfriend, or the girlfriend, or the husband, or the wife try to make you mad, but you don't get mad, right? Have you noticed that they keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they finally get a reaction from you? They'll say little things or do little things. And when they get that reaction from you, then they're like satisfied. It's like, whew. They relax down and go to sleep because they know you're miserable. You have reacted. Stop reacting. Don't react. Stay still and overcome. So you're going to lose the world. Make up your mind. Do you want to be of the world, or do you want to be of the Father, the truth? Are you going to love the world, or are you going to love what's right? And you have no idea what's right. You don't. You don't. All right? But you will know, but you got to make up your mind. Christ said, I came not to unite, but to divide. Christ said, I came not to unite, but to divide. Husband from wife, wife from husband, parents from children, children from parents, friends from so-called friends. Why are you trying to hold on to it if he came to divide? Why don't you see like, wow, I'm glad I'm one of the ones that he's showing the way out of this. And you're trying to hold on to it. Make up your mind what you want. You want to be free, or you want to live in your prison? Because your world is your world, your prison is your prison. Your illusion is your illusion, and no one can do anything about it. No Jesse Peterson, no government, no preacher, no well-spoken person, no rich or famous person. Only you can work on you. Make up your mind. And it's difficult only because you so identify with the illusion self. You truly think that is you. And I used to think that's what I understand. I really do. But it's not you. It's not your pain. They're not your thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. As long as you're into thoughts, the children of the lie, those evil human beings that try to hurt you, will come after you. And you'll be hurt. But if you can see what's going on and why you're growing, if you do feel the pain, ego pain of somebody attacking you, relax in it. Don't run from it. Just relax. You don't have to tell them you're feeling that way. But see it, and you'll know it's not you, and it will be taken away from you, and you'll be like, what the? And then the thing that will happen again, and you won't even feel anything about it or think anything, but you will have understanding. You will know that person is evil, and they can't help it. You would think, well, I remember when I used to be evil like that. When I come back, your phone calls. It's Open Line Friday. Make up your mind. Do you want to continue to live in your prison, or do you want to walk out? I'm telling you the way out. The doors of the prison is open. Walk out. Just walk out of the prison. It's a freedom. And just know human beings are evil. I'm telling you, humans are evil. They will come after you. Quick break, 888-7753-773. Back in a moment.
I just wanted to say that I've been listening to you for a few years now, and when you talk about the illusion of racism and how it's just a divisive tool that the media uses, and it's just good and evil.
Yes.
And that's what we got to focus on. It really has changed my life. My perspective is totally different now. I'm more calm. I'm more peaceful. You know, when you talk about forgiving your mother and letting go of that hate, and it just transforms you. So I just want to thank you for that, and let you know that you really are doing God's work by waking people up with this message.
Amazing, Aaron. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Sure. I can hear the angels in heaven singing right now. They're rejoicing. That's amazing. Stay with the silent prayer. Speak up, don't resent, and doubt every thought. And Aaron, you have not seen anything. Anything. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. And James Hake is on fire. On fire. At 9 a.m. From 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon today, at 12 noon, brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. It was amazing. I had a very interesting discussion with Royce White. And Royce is a former professional basketball player, and he's currently running for Senate in Minnesota. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
I smoked weed the first time. I had a massive panic attack where I thought I was dying and having a heart attack.
You must have some of that good weed. Do you create your own thoughts?
You can't have free will if the human mind doesn't have some agency.
The past or the future is just an illusion. It doesn't exist. Am I right?
No, you're not right.
Every human being that has anger is unconscious and they know not what they do.
Oh, no, that's a scapegoat. No, I'm not buying that
at all. Amazing, huh? It's interesting to me, and I understand it, right? Because I've been there, how human beings think that when you say that it's not you, it's something else working through you, something else made you rob that bank, something else made you go after another person, try to hurt them to get revenge or loneliness or whatever, right? And or to blame others and blah, blah, blah. You think, well, oh, you're giving them a way out. You're giving them, it's not them. Just like it's not you. You are not in control of your life, and you're blind if you think you are. You cannot be, won't be, ain't gonna be, never gonna be. And it doesn't matter how long it doesn't matter that you think you have a free will. Thinking you have a free will doesn't mean you have one. You're just thinking it. All thoughts are all lies all the time. So support the Fallen State right there, thefallenstate.tv or /donate or locals.com. Also, at 4 p.m., The American Anchor Baby. Joy Friday is not on Friday. It's Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. So at 4 p.m., The American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 4. Did you see The American Anchor Baby? How would you describe your show from yesterday?
From yesterday?
Yesterday's show.
How would I describe it?
You had Halloween, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was
you had a movie?
A variety.
Yeah.
I'd call it a variety yesterday because we got, I got the spooky vibes going at the beginning. We had a normal show, talk show with calls and topics. And then we did a special movie night with the viewers. So,
man, check it out. Check it out. The American Anchor Baby. You can podcast if you didn't catch that yesterday. And if you missed Joel Friday show this past Thursday or yesterday, or the day Friday, yesterday, you can podcast. It was hot. It was on fire. It was interesting. Joel Friday TV. All right. And I think Hake is going to be on another show today. I'm not sure, but I believe so. Oh, he's telling me yes. He's going to be on another show today. Hippy Dippy Roundtable today at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Hippy Dippy Roundtable today at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Hake will be a guest on that show. This is after his show at 9. Let me go. And you can check out Hippy Dippy. You can watch Hippy Dippy on the HakeReport.com/appearance. I enjoy seeing Hake debate other people. It's interesting because Hake be understanding the intellectual side and the spiritual side, and that's amazing to me. All right, so check it out today at 3 p.m. Hippy Dippy Roundtable at 3:30. TheHakeReport.com/appearance. What?
I typed in the chat.
I was looking. I was
Sorry
reading
about
something
that.
Nick wrote.
I wrote heavyweight Hake and then ding ding like the beginning
Yeah.
of a boxing match.
Better than George Floyd. Let me go to Angie out of Washington. Angie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Angie.
Hi, do you remember me? The one-legged lady from Washington?
The one leg.
One-legged
Oh,
lady, that's
yeah.
me.
I remember
Hi.
now. How you doing?
Yeah, hi. I'm good.
No woman is good.
I'm doing better.
Nice.
Good. Yes, I have so much to tell you.
Okay.
It was just by chance, I was just scrolling down, and all of a sudden you popped up and it said, Addict, just get up and walk. And I started listening to it, and I realized you were talking about me. And so on last Tuesday, I finally got my prosthetic, and I stood up for the first time in 2.5 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then I walked.
That is deep, Angie. Right on.
Yes.
Why didn't you do that beforehand?
Well, it was really just times to see the doctor. Everything's so far out.
Oh, I see.
That, it took a
Well,
while.
right on. Congratulations.
Thank you. I just thought it was ironic that literally it says, Addict, just get up and walk. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
And Angie,
That's cool.
if you drop the anger, just never be angry at yourself or anyone again, you can get up and live. You can have a life that I can't even express for you. And
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm shedding my skin.
Right on.
Yeah, so I'm doing it.
And you're doing the silent prayer?
I am.
Nice. And
I'm sorry.
Don't hold anything against anyone, not even yourself, right? And just practice staying present. Forget about what happened in the past, because what happened then. It doesn't exist now. Forget about the future and just live now. And you think you're gonna be walking and living, and you're gonna have a good life.
Shoot, I'm gonna be racing people around the track.
For sure. Wow, what an amazing call.
Yeah, well, I'm the most blessed woman on earth, and I'm fortunate because I heard your truth and I recognize my pain, so I will be healed. And it was just like sent from God. I just stumbled across that, and now I'm talking to you.
Right on. Well,
so I do have to apologize for my swearing the last phone call. I'm sorry about that.
I don't even remember, but that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was not very ladylike.
Yeah. And forgive your children and your ex-husbands and everybody, all right?
Yep. Let's see. I haven't gotten no response from my kids. I've been reaching out. But I did find my dad.
Nice.
And, yeah, he's roaming around between Idaho, Colorado, and Wyoming, so hopefully he comes and sees me.
Right on.
I haven't seen him since I was about 9. And I'm going to be 50.
And you spoke to him?
Yes.
And right on. Well, look, you haven't seen anything. And as far as your children, you've reached out to them. You've apologized for what you have done. Don't reach out anymore. You let them live their hell. Let them live their life. And maybe one day they'll wake up and they'll have love and they'll call you or they come. But if they don't, you still going to be fine.
Oh, yeah.
But you just start living your life now and forget about the world.
Definitely. Give him the finger.
That's right.
Yeah. No kidding. So idle hands on the devil's playground, so you better be walking straight.
That's right.
In the square with the house.
Well, I hope you meet your father. You see your father after so long, and one thing will lead to another one.
Yeah, I still don't know who Angie is. I'm still working on that. That was a very good question, and I'm trying to figure that out still.
Well, listen.
By discovering who I'm not makes me who I am.
That's
so
right. And
I'm working on that.
I promise you, when who you're not disappear, and it will, you will know who you are. You got to see you got to see who you're not first.
Yeah, you got to. It's a process. You got to kind of look yourself in the mirror, face to face, and
one day at a
realize,
time, one moment at a time. And last thing that I got to run, but I want to encourage you: practice staying present rather than living in time, rather than living in your imagination. All right.
Right. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. I know. Thank you so much. You really moved me, and I'm doing it. So thank you.
Get up and walk.
Hells yes.
Thank you, Angie. Yes. When you talk to your father, let me know about that.
I will do that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for talking to me.
You're welcome. Anytime.
All right, sweetheart.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Amazing. Get up and walk if you want to walk. Michael is a first-time caller out of Michigan. Michael, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you?
All is well.
Hey, listen, I am one of the probably hundreds of thousands of disenfranchised Christian white males that 52. And I had a question for you that, I'm looking at moving overseas, lost my job, and tired of the corporate world, just tired of the DEI and people being promoted because it's like high school all over again. But for me, it's going to be a one-way trip. Like, I'll need to sell everything. And honestly, a lot of it is because of economics. But I would say the good majority of it is because culture. Like, I just don't find culture here, and looking at potentially, married, unfortunately divorced, just don't see any of the interest in investing. So I kind of want to get your guidance. I don't know if other people have called in with some similar aspects, but I just am at a point where I feel like there's really no other option.
Have you called before, Michael?
Nope.
Oh, okay. And so your question for me is what?
Well, I mean, basically, like, if you were in my shoes, what would you, I've done some praying. I'm not really getting a good sense. I mean, there's huge trade-offs to this. And again, only because it's going to be a one-way trip. Like, I don't really have family here that I could rely on, that if it didn't work out, I could come back. But then, I think ever since COVID, things have reset in society.
Right. And so your question is what?
Well, I mean, basically, if you were in my shoes, would you consider moving to another foreign country for a different culture, a less expensive way of life, people that are not so economically focused and getting the bag, and like what?
Okay.
And knowing what? Yeah.
Well, I'm not in your shoes, but the one thing I can promise you, all the issues that you're having is inside of you. And when you move overseas, you're going to have the same issues you have right now or even worse, because all you're doing is taking those issues with you. Your issues are not with the world. It's not with the culture. It's not with DEI. It's not with being white. It's not with being male. It's with you. You are not overcoming yourself. You're living in an illusion of your imagination, and you're believing that all your problems are coming from outside, and they're not. They're coming from you. And so you can move overseas, you can move to a different culture, but you're going to have the same issues because people are all the same all around the world, and no one is going to be able to make you happy. No one is going to be able to take away your loneliness, your anger, your fears, your sadness, because it's inside of you. You got to start working on you instead of believing that your problems are on the outside. They're in you.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, whatever that expression is, wherever you go, there you are. So completely agree with that. It's more of an aspect of, my rent's gone up like 45% in the last 3 years. And, with the job loss, I was just like, I just don't know if I want to continue to invest in a society here in America that doesn't really value meritocracy.
Why do you need them to value that?
No, I mean, just from a monetary aspect, I mean, working in the corporate world where, Fortune 100 companies, been passed over for promotions. And
why don't you just instead of complaining about that, why not just find another job?
No, I've got a side gig that would.
Why not get a full job so you can pay your rent or buy your own house or do something where you can take care of yourself and you don't need that. You don't. If you stop renting and start owning, then you're in control of that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I lost the house during the divorce. But anyway,
get another house.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got enough that I could buy one in cash outright. And
so why don't you just buy another house and work on you? You can go overseas or to another country, but I promise you're not going to find what you're looking for until you start to look within. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you, and it's completed. And if you wanted to live a completed life, you're going to have to live from within.
Yep.
You're not going to find it overseas because I counsel with people around the world. They're having the same problem as you are having. It's the same thing. And those who have stopped looking from the outside, they're becoming free wherever they are. And those who have continued to look outside, they're still in misery, even though they leave and go and live here, they live there. The answer is not going to help you that way. You got to overcome your anger. You got to overcome your imagination.
Yeah, no, that's. I definitely recognize that I've got some bias towards things, but anyway, yeah. No, I mean, again,
are you willing to work on you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I do get your point about like wherever you go, there, there you are, and that is a concern. Like if I go over there, it's a different culture.
Why don't you work on you rather than running? Because you're not going to run from this. You're going to have to face this within yourself. Why not do that?
Valid point. Valid point.
No,
yeah.
That was a question.
No. I mean, that's a very good question. Like, why not work on things here?
No, not work on things here. Work on you.
Well, within me.
Yes. Why won't you work on yourself so you can see what's going on inside of you and not outside?
Yep. No, I mean that's definitely something in which that I've been trying to work on and develop. And
have you been trying to work on yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to take more of a nuanced, or when somebody has a disagreement and I present them with facts and logic and reason, and they're all in their.
That's not working on yourself, Michael.
Well, it's more of forgiveness for people that do not know, and they think that just because I have an opinion that.
Michael, why don't you work? Right. Why don't you drop your anger?
Well, and here's the thing. Like after my divorce, yeah, I went seriously red pill, and I went through the typical stages of anger, and I'm still red pill, I'm MGTOW, and I just realized that at my age, at some point, I would like to meet a good woman.
No such thing.
Well, that's true. I'm looking for a more palatable woman that I don't think that finding it's like looking for a needle in a needle
Why are
stack.
you looking for a woman? All that's going to do is make you miserable. It's not going to make you happy. Why don't you work on you and not look for anything? You just went through a bad marriage. You lost your house. You lost everything. And you're looking for another woman? You love your misery?
Well, yeah. Well, all right. So, for instance,
do you love your misery?
I get your point. Like, I would never invest. At my age, we're not going to have kids.
Do you love your misery?
I don't think that red pill is misery, and I don't think that.
Do you love your pain? You love your misery?
I get what you're saying. Like, why would you go there again?
Do you love your misery?
Well, of course not.
Then why you keep going out looking for more pain then? Why not why not overcome your misery? Why don't you drop your anger?
No, and I definitely think that I do have that element for sure. And that is something that I'm trying to work on.
Why don't you drop your anger, Michael?
No, I mean, valid point. I mean, that
no,
is
there was a question.
Why don't I?
Yes.
I think conviction, understanding, I'm one of those people, and not to, be braggadocious or whatever, but knowing what I know, it's difficult for me to accept somebody that doesn't know. And when I present something,
Michael, why don't you drop your anger?
It's a valid point.
No, there was a question.
Why should I care?
Nope, that's not it. That's not the question. Why don't you drop your anger?
Probably ego.
And so do you realize because of that, you're right back looking on the outside for something that's going to bring you more pain and misery. Can you hold, Michael?
Sure.
Hold on. Let me take a break. 2 more hours to go. The hate news coming up, not the fake news, the hate news. I'll be back in a moment. I read or heard that some Republicans are starting to pull their advertisements from Google or whomever, right? Because so many conservatives are being shut down, discriminated against, shadow banned, and all that kind of stuff. So conservatives are starting to fight back. It is happening to us too. I'm just taking it one day at a time. But you can go to jlptalk.com and find all the ways to support us. You can check out rebuildingdemand.com and support our nonprofit organization. You can call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and Sunny. And also, we have thefallenstate.tv. Ring the bell.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Friday, November 1st, AD 2024. It just so happens that there is one line open. So call in right now, guys or gals. Get in first. Elbow other people out. Okay, the lines are full. Because it's Hake news, not fake news, and JLP will be right back. Oh, no, there's a line open again. JLP will be right back to your calls, guys. 1-888-775-3773. Commie Nonsense Network is lame today. It's all about the election, and that's dumb, lame, boring, mind-numbing, irrelevant until Tuesday when it actually happens, in my opinion. But they're scaremongering about misinformation, and people are angry and on edge and might get violent after the election, whatever happens. So do be alert, do be aware, and protect yourself. Keep your wits about you wherever you go. And don't get Don't get heated like these liberals, okay, and so-called conservatives. Anyway, the far-left female run outlet The Skim reports that many people are packing up and taking their politics with them wherever they go. Many liberals have been moving to conservative, quiet, nice, beautiful, friendly, civilized areas and turning them liberal, but still somewhat civilized, but somewhat less. It's a mess. You've heard about echo chambers. They don't just exist on social media, echo chambers. Americans are increasingly living in and moving to communities where more people agree with them politically, though, according to a new analysis from the failing far-left extremist New York Slimes, which should probably be deported along with the beautiful Haitians and the illegals. Researchers reviewed a public voter registration records of more than 3.5 million Americans, quote-unquote Americans, who moved since 2020. They found that 66% of Republicans moved to states that our greatest president, Trump, won last election, in many cases Florida, as you know, and Texas and Idaho. They found that 66% of Republicans moved there, right? And 54% of demon rats, I call them, Democrats, relocated to areas that voted for crooked Joe Biden. How embarrassing. People move for all kinds of reasons, of course. The analysis found that Democrats leaned toward diverse areas, ideally near a Trader Joe's, they say. Shout out to Trader Joe's. Protect Trader Joe's from unions. Are they unionized now? What a mess. I don't know. While Republicans, sometimes Republicans, right, often sought out small towns with lower taxes. Politics and preferences factored in, too. That's partly because our natural urge to fit in, so say the ladies. As one expert said, no one wakes up in the morning and says, gee, I'm looking forward to having a fight with my neighbors. Well, some people do, right? Anyway, this trend is an unexpected driver of the country's growing political divide, say the ladies at The Skim, and demographic shifts could even impact elections in key battleground states. For instance, in Arizona, which Biden won last time by fewer than 11,000 votes, incoming Republicans have outpaced newbie demon rats by a 3-2 margin, based. And the Republicans moving into states like Arizona and Texas, they're largely coming via mass exodus from liberal states like California, adding to the stark contrast. We need the conservatives to move into California and take over California, take it back. And then we can recruit some of those illegals to be conservatives too, right? And the blacks and Asians. Anyway, we'll see. Researchers say more people ideologically redistrict themselves, and the more America changes, the less they're going to hear from others with differing views. And by the way, is that going to be like a setup for an actual civil war at some point? Hopefully not. But I don't know. You never know. It's a big mess. Some women split vote in battleground states for abortion and Trump. It's a mess. In 10 states where abortion is on the ballot, some women in battleground states are splitting their ticket voting for expanded abortion and our greatest president, Trump. Interesting, huh? Whatever. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. 773 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week: why don't you presume others innocent unless proven guilty? Why don't you presume others innocent unless proven guilty? Amazing question. You can listen to the show live, no matter where you are and what you're doing. You're out there yelling at Republicans, or you're yelling at Democrats, or you're trying to vote, and your votes, you drop them in the drop box, and then someone set the box on fire, burn up your votes. Or whatever you're doing, taking fentanyl, trying to overcome fentanyl, or whatever. Considering suicide when the rainbow wasn't enough, you can be listening to the show. You know, amazing? By calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. No matter where you are, you don't have to miss the show live. And you can podcast. 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk, or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a great alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
Donald Trump has no character. Well, let me tell you something. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
How do you like my garbage truck? They treat you like garbage.
He's trying to rape me. Can you help?
Get off her now. They treat our whole country like garbage, with open borders, with...
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
There you go. That's the joy.
And church morning is on its way.
250 million Americans are not garbage. This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
What a smart man. Oh, amazing. I want to go back to Michael, and Michael is considering moving overseas somewhere, another country. And he is in his 50s, been married before, lost everything. I mean, the woman took the house and everything, the cat, the dog, and the children. Hey, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for holding. Why don't you drop your anger?
No, I think that's a large part of it. Listen, I was thinking, like, during the break, have you ever watched Kevin Samuels?
Why don't you drop your anger, Michael?
I could, but it wouldn't bring me back into reality of where things are here.
Why don't you drop your anger, Michael?
So, what, to be naive about where things are culturally?
Why don't you drop your anger, Michael?
Yeah, that is certainly a good part of why I'm just looking at moving over there, and I wouldn't have to work again. I've got
Michael,
enough money.
Why don't you drop your anger?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's looking at where the culture is.
So you're not telling me why you won't drop the anger.
Why I won't?
Yeah.
Because I'm based in reality. Like, the reality of the American dream is dead.
How can you be in reality and then lost in anger?
I know that your perspective is anger. I don't really see it as such. I look at it as more of an awakening.
How can you have anger and be awake?
I mean, that's a valid question per se, but I would say that part of that, like, awakening is realizing what reality is, and it's not good here.
Well, how can you know what reality is when you are asleep? You're lost.
I don't think I'm asleep. I think I'm more awake than I've ever been.
Really? So let me ask, where are you getting the ideas from that if you move overseas, you meet a woman overseas, a different culture over there, a different...
No.
What made you think life will be better over there than here?
Jesse, I am not moving there for women.
No, you said...
even though
you're looking for a different woman, right?
I think that the chances of finding a better woman over there is much greater than what you would find here.
And where are you
Am
getting
I going
that?
there for that? No.
Where are you getting that idea from that the chance of finding a better woman will happen overseas than here? Where are you getting that idea from?
I've probably watched hundreds of hours of expat videos, pros and cons. I mean, a lot of them on YouTube are all pros. But there are some that go, and here's the reality: there's going to be huge compromises.
And so you're getting the idea that somehow or another overseas women are better than the ones in America.
Yes.
Amazing.
Like in the and again, Jesse, I'm not moving there because the anger that I have towards my ex.
And I'm gonna get to that too, but you what's the difference between the women overseas in Asia or wherever?
No, their operating system is the same, brother. It's just the culture, the shame. And again, I'm not looking to get remarried. I'm looking to live in a culture that appreciates men and women, but I'm not looking, like here in America, I mean, there are countless videos of
Michael,
men
let me
that are
tell
in the same...
Michael, because of time and I'm going to have to get running here.
Sure.
One thing I promise you is that because you won't look within and overcome the fallen state, wherever you move to, you're going to have the same problems or even worse. You're not going to find what you're looking for on the outside. It's in you. You are your world, and right now your world is angry, lost, and you're looking outside for some type of happiness, and you're not going to find it anywhere until you look within and overcome the darkness of your imagination. The men over in Asia and in different culture are as miserable as you are in America, except for those who are now working on themselves to overcome the imagination. I talk to them all the time in different language, and they have the same problem that Michael was having, identical problem. And they thought they could find it by moving somewhere else or living somewhere else or doing this or doing that, and they were never able to find it until they looked within. You can have perfect peace right here in America, right there in Michigan, if you wanted it.
Yeah, it's just at what price to work until I'm 65.
The price the price is to lose your ego. That's the price you will have to pay.
For sure. I mean,
you gotta
readily acknowledge that
you got to die from your ego. You got to die from your lostness. You are lost.
I wouldn't say law. I say I'm looking for something different.
But it's not out there, though.
Well, unfortunately, today, you're right. Like, the whole world has changed since COVID, since social media, the internet.
And what's wrong with working until you're 65? What's wrong with that? You should want to work until you fall into the grave.
Jesse, you have your own radio show. You don't report to anybody. I mean, again, the Fortune 100, Fortune 50 companies I've worked for, it is a friggin' cesspool of let's go along to get along.
So why don't you start your own
Meritocracy
business
is
then? You say you have a lot of money. You can retire. You can
I've got
go
a
wherever
side
you want.
business that.
Why don't you start your own business and grow that then?
No, I mean that's part of what I'm doing. I've got a side business that.
So don't run and work on that. So I'm gonna have to go, Michael. But let me tell you this.
Yeah.
And you can bank on this. I promise you this, without a doubt. You can move to the ends of the world, and you can live in every culture in the world. You're still going to be miserable. You're not going to find. You're not going to find what you're looking for until you start to live from within. There's another world. There's another reality. There is a completed world. It is done. It is finished. But it's on the inside of you. And until you start living from there, you're never going to have peace. You're going to always be looking for it on the outside and never finding it. I recommend you do what you want, of course, but you got to work on you. You got to overcome the darkness of your imagination and emotion. Fear is dark and it's emotion. Loneliness, worried about the economy in America, worried about being white or not being white. All those things are evil and they are deceiving you. You can live in America and have perfect peace in spite of what's going on around the world or in this country. It has nothing to do with you except you have identified with it.
Yeah, no, that's a fair statement that I need to look at a little bit more closely. But I think that the time that you grew up in and what you've achieved is, and even though I'm 20 years younger than you, I've just looked at other people that have done similar aspects at that stage in life. They're very happy, and they wish they had done it, 5, 8, 10 years earlier.
But Michael, what you don't know, what I do and what I have or don't have has nothing, zero to do with my peace. I had to work on me from within. I had to overcome the anger. I had to overcome the thoughts, the imagination. My peace comes from within. It has nothing to do with what the physical or what I have or don't have. And that's what. Have you gone and forgiven your mother yet?
Yeah, she passed away like 14.
Have you forgiven her?
Ago, but yes. She's passed, and she made some bad mistakes in life and remarried a horrific person. But yeah.
Have you forgiven her for that?
Look, I look at her as she made the best decision as a woman at the time.
Have you forgiven her for that?
Of course. That was her nature. She went from getting divorced from my dad, marrying a good man. He passed away, and married a horrific man afterwards, and really destroyed the whole family dynamic. Have I forgiven her? No. Yes. That is a female, prerogative of like she was looking for security.
How do you know that you have forgiven her?
Because I don't have any anger towards her. I just recognize that's just, she made some very bad decisions, but that's just hypergamy and solipsism and false law. And
have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from her?
My father has never really been involved in my life. He's been there. Is it somebody that I could call up and say, hey, I've got a difficult time right now? He's like, I don't want to hear it. So he and I don't really talk much.
Have you forgiven your father for not being there for you to protect you from her?
Yeah, no, I recognize that he's indifferent. So he doesn't really, he's not on the radar for forgiveness. It's like, it is what it is.
Have you forgiven your father for not being there to protect you from her?
My mother was a great mother, so there is no forgiveness that I need to make towards my father, other than
if your mother
I
was
wish
great,
that,
you say you forgave her. If she was great, why did you have to forgive her?
well, I mean, it's the difference between, you can be a good wife, or excuse me, a bad wife and a good mother.
Not possible. How is that? How can you be half bad and half good?
I think that's very binary. I think that, there are probably multiple men in the chat that can recognize that they had a good mother to their kids.
So you
but
think
a
a
bad
person
wife
can be good and
to
bad?
What's that?
You think a person can be good and bad?
I think that they can be good at one thing and bad at another. Absolutely.
How is that? How can you be good and bad?
I think that that one could be good at their job and be
I'm not
a
talking
lousy
about
husband or
I'm not
wife.
talking about physical things. How can a person be good and bad and evil?
I don't think there's evil involved, but I think that just like some
you
people
don't
have
think
strengths
evil
and
and bad.
weaknesses.
You don't think evil is involved?
No, I would say it's the same thing that when Adam and Eve and what she did with the apple and
did you say you don't believe evil is involved?
Well, I mean, and I would say that I do believe that there's an inherent aspect of women looking at evil or their own.
I'm asking you a question though. Did you say you didn't believe evil was involved? That evil is involved?
I guess yes.
Yes. What?
I mean, like, was there even involved with my mom selecting her third husband? And again, divorced, widowed, married third time. So it's not like she's just running through a whole bunch of men. Like my mom.
Did you say you didn't believe evil was involved?
Oh, well, I mean, I think that's like
did
the
you
inherent
say that?
nature of.
I'm out here. Did you say that?
Was there evil involved other than like just the?
No, I'm asking you a different question. Did you say that you didn't believe evil was involved?
I mean, other than like
you still didn't. I'm asking you. Did you say that? Just now.
Did I say that? No.
Oh, you didn't say. Oh, I don't think evil was involved.
No, I mean, other than look, I mean,
did
female
you say
nature
it? You did
is,
say it, or you didn't say it?
Did I say it or didn't say it? No,
okay.
no. Evil was.
What does non-binary mean? You said you believe in non-binary. What does that mean?
I don't think that in some situations that it's a either or.
You don't think it's evil or good?
All right, that's not what I said before, but yes, is there evil and good? Certainly.
Are you good or evil?
I try to be good, but I know I'm inherently evil. I'm like most people. I'm very.
Are you good or evil?
I would say good.
And what's good about you?
That I take care of others. I've taken care of my father, and he's got dementia. He's not been a good father for me, but that's something in which that I look at what he sacrificed for me. I take care of myself. I'm not a debt to society.
And you believe that's what's good about you? You think the things you do make you good?
I think it's the perspective that I have on society or my willingness to help others. I think
Michael,
that,
do you think
that gives me satisfaction. Now,
do you
is
think
that
the
evil
things,
for me?
You think the things you do make you good?
Well, all right. So, yes. I mean,
how does the things you do make you good? How can what you do make you good? Where do you get that from?
Because it's the satisfaction of help. Look, I can make
So the
more
mayor,
money,
the
or I
mayor.
could spend more time helping others.
So have you forgiven
does
your
making
father?
more money make me feel?
Have you forgiven your father?
I look at him as he's just a segment of my life, and so I don't really. That's not something that I'm focusing on.
Have you forgiven your father?
All right. So the way that I look at that, my relationship with him is I love him. He's my dad. He's sacrificed a lot all the way up until I was 12. Now he's doing his own thing, doesn't really want to be involved with his kids.
Have you forgiven your father?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm like,
Michael.
Yeah.
Have you forgiven your father?
Yes, Jesse, yes.
And did you tell him you were sorry for hating him?
I've told him I loved him.
How can you love him when you hate him?
I don't hate him.
You haven't forgiven him.
Hey, this is circular, dude. I don't. I've already told you. I don't hate him. Like
then why? So let me ask this, Michael. Which one is good? The things you do to help him, or forgiving him?
Well, I think that there's a segment of both. By helping him, and I'm not being resentful.
Which
for what
one
he
is
did.
good? Forgiving him or helping him?
If I had to choose between the two, and I have to look at it by helping him, that makes me feel as though I'm better than what he has done for us.
And so
kids,
feeling better.
I would say forgiving him is the better choice. Yeah.
And so then why won't you forgive him? Or why haven't you forgiven him?
Well, I feel like in some aspect I have.
Nope, there's no such thing as some aspect. Either you have forgiven him or you're not.
Well, like to help to move and help him with his dementia.
Michael, either you have forgiven him or you've not.
No, okay. Well, maybe I haven't fully. It's more of I want to be the better person that he was to us.
But how can you be better when you still resent him?
Well, hopefully by, actions are more than just words or feelings. So I just look at it as like, all right, maybe he did us dirty when we were young and he pretty much left us. And so even though now he's in a position where I can't help him, I have.
Michael, feeling good is not being good. You feel good because you're doing these things for him, but in your heart, you're still wicked. You're still judging him. You still resent him. And yet you call yourself good because you're doing these things and you feel good and you think feeling good is making you good, and it's not. It's making you evil. It's making you lost. It's making you thinking that moving to another country, somehow another life will be better. It's making you're living in the darkness of your imagination and you're calling evil good. And I got to run, but if you want to be free, here's what I recommend. And if not, you can definitely go overseas and give it a try and see what happens. That's your life, right? But until you forgive your mother for what she's done, by realizing that she couldn't help herself, and forgive your father for not being there for you. When he left your mother. He didn't leave you. He loved you. Fathers love their children. They just don't know how to deal with the mothers. And so forgive your father. You got to go to him. Hey, Father, I'm sorry for resenting you. Because your marriage has failed because you married your mother. You weren't able to be there and guide your wife in the right way. And so you've done exactly what your father have done. And if you have children, hopefully your kids will forgive you and they don't repeat the same cycle. Because as long as you have that anger in your heart and limit your imagination. No matter where you go in the world, you're still going to be with Michael, and you will still be miserable. You got to forgive and practice staying present with life so you can have a life.
Yes, certainly something that I'll take away and think about.
Yeah.
Jesse, I appreciate your insight, brother.
Yeah, so give it a try. You have nothing to lose but hell. And then if you move to another country once you're free, you're still going to have freedom within no matter where you go. But I promise you, you can have perfect peace right here in America, no matter what's going on around you. You are not the world, you are your world, which makes you the world. But if you don't live from your world, then you're of the world and you're going to suffer. You're going to become a MGTOW.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, G.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
All right, I will.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
All right. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Here's what one lawyer lady had to say about one mistake men make in a marriage. This is according to a lawyer, female lawyer. Watch this from TikTok.
Number one mistake men make in a marriage from a divorce lawyer. A spouse who never participates in household chores often breeds resentment in the other spouse. There's not going to then be one incident that results in some extreme fight that ends the marriage. It's a slow burn. So my advice to you guys out there, if you want to stay married, empty the dishwasher every once in a while.
That's the dumbest advice I ever heard from a lawyer. If you want to really make her mad, you clean the house and empty the dish right here. You'll see what happens. Women hate men that clean the house and empty the dishwasher once in a while. They hate that. They hate it when you wash dishes because they see your weakness. They see you taking the role of the woman, and they hate that. This woman is dumb. And that's why God said, every time you listen to the woman, you will suffer. You're going to suffer. You will suffer. 888-7753-773. BRANDI from Hawaii. BRANDI, welcome to the show.
Morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
I'm in California right now.
Oh, you're here for your surgery, huh?
Yeah. You remembered me.
I'm in California dreaming of the way it used to be when we were younger and free. So when is your surgery?
It was October 18th.
Oh, you had it already? Oh, how did it go?
Yeah. It went well. I just talked to the doctors the other day, and they were very happy with how it turned out.
See, you were worried about nothing.
I know, but when I was going in to surgery, they did my blood pressure, and it was 114, and he looked at me, and he's all, I'm amazed on how low it is right now. Most people are stressed out.
Hold on for a minute, Brandon. Brandon, hold for a minute. Let me take a quick break. 888-7753-773. A quick break. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free. just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. You have heard me talk about Goldco. Goldco, I was sponsored, right? Have you educated yourself yet? Have you educated yourself about Goldco? If not, it's time that you do it. Because once you educate yourself about it, believe me, you're going to want to get involved. You will want to. And then you won't just have to take my word at it. It's best to know that you know that you know that you know, not just because someone else said it. So what I would request is that you go to Goldco, right? Request Goldco and Silver information kit. They have a nice little kit there where you can educate yourself. And they are known for educating people. They want you to know that you know that you know so you can be satisfied. So go to money.com and you'll check them out. They have awarded them as the best gold educational resource in 2024. Check them out. Get educated. And yes, I have heard from you. Thank you. I thank you because you support our sponsor and they're making it possible for us to do what we do here. But for you, I want you heard me talking to Michael earlier. Michael wanted to be independent. This is a part of becoming independent. All right. So request information by going to Goldco. And the good thing about it that they have set up a special deal for my listeners. A special deal. So for qualified accounts receivers, you get 10% instant, not tomorrow, but instant match for qualified account receivers. You get 10% instant match in bonus silver right away as soon as you qualify. For my listeners, those are for my listeners, the JLP Peterson listeners, right? So I recommend you reach out to them to learn more. Go to JesseLovesGold.com. JesseLovesGold.com or call 855-644-GOLD. That's 855-644-GOLD. Tell them I sent you. Amazing. Back in a moment. I want to do my African dance. Amazing. I want to go back to BRANDI from Hawaii. BRANDI, so you had the surgery. Now you're doing fine. You're healing.
Yeah, I feel like I've been hit by a car. Sore and hurt, and it's going to be a long recovery, but I'm alive. I made it, and just taking it one day at a time.
And how long are you going to be in L.A.?
They said I have an appointment on the 5th and the 6th, and then if I get my drains out, then I get to go home whenever. I just have to wait for these drains to come out.
So is your husband happy that you're gone, or he miss you?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. I'm sure he misses me because he's taking care of the son without me. He's doing all the work, so I'm sure he misses the help.
Most of the time, when the wife is gone and the kids are left with the fathers, the father and the kids are having a hootenanny time.
I hope so.
They're like, Mama is gone. Now I'm one with my daddy. We can enjoy life.
Oh, good. Maybe I should stay gone longer. Give him some more time.
That's right. Well, I'm glad everything went well for you and that you're healing.
Thank you. I'm so thankful that I, found you, and you helped me not get all into my head, and calm. I was calm during the whole thing.
Right on.
So it was amazing. And I told you I'd call you and give you an update that I made it through, and I made it through.
Right on.
With flying colors.
Right on. I ain't done much healing. Right on. Well, maybe you'll get a chance to stop by bars since you're right there in San Diego, right?
Yeah, I'm actually in the Sun City area, Riverside County right now.
Oh, so you're right.
I keep asking
from Barn at all.
Yeah, I keep asking my brother-in-law to take me. Come on, let's go. Will you take me? Let's go.
Well, give yourself
I don't want to go to LA.
Give yourself time to heal, and when you get better, hopefully you get to stop by bar before you go back to Hawaii.
I hope so. If not, I'm going to have to make a trip just to come see you someday.
That'll be nice.
I'd love to come see you on a Thursday on a women's forum.
Yeah,
and then stay for church.
Yeah, Thursday of the month. Those women forums are amazing.
Yeah, I really want to come see you, but I can't get anyone to drive me.
Well, you're not in good shape right now to come, so wait till your body heals, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
will.
Be patient.
I am. I'm trying.
All right.
It is hard because I want to get up and do all kinds of stuff, and I'm not allowed to. I can't even lift a gallon of milk right now.
Well,
this is miserable.
Well, be patient so you don't regret it later. Everything happened in due season.
For sure.
All right?
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for everything.
You're welcome, and stay with us, stay with us, stay with it, and I'm glad everything went well for you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Have a good weekend, guys.
You too. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Super chat.
Super chats.
I ain't done much healing. Hello. How is you? Okay.
Nice. Someone bought 3 coffees. Jesse, have you watched the show Jesus of Nazareth? If you didn't, you're missing out. 1977.
Oh, yeah, way back there. It was good. It is a good movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have seen it.
One
Amazing.
One of my favorite lines from it is, if it wasn't given to you from above, you would have no power over me, Jesus said to the Roman governor.
Nice. That's deep.
Julie from Connecticut.
That's
Eric's
deep. Thank
wife.
you.
A coffee from Julie from Connecticut. When our livers are overburdened with toxic chemicals in food and other things, then the toxins could spread to the brain and may cause brain damage. And she says, such as ADHD, Asperger's, autism, etc. If you clean up your body and liver, you can heal, says she.
Julie said that?
Mm-hmm.
And what does she clean it up with?
Maybe proper food. I don't know.
What do you clean your liver up with, Julie? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Pepper Juice bought a coffee. I can't wait to buy the merch that reads, when she's crying, she's lying. This will remind me to stop all that crying and ultimately stop lying. Love you, Senor Jesse.
Thank you. When she's crying, she's lying. Amazing. Thank you.
Jeremiah bought a coffee. Judge not your enemies, for how can you judge the blind for not seeing? Forgive them for what you face. The Father would you also want forgiveness from him? When you face the Father, pardon me, I can't read. For when when you face the Father, would you also want forgiveness from him?
What's wrong with you?
I have the sniffles.
That's why you can't read?
Maybe. Plus, I'm stressed. Thank you, Jeremiah.
What a mess. What a mess.
Nice.
Thank you. Jeremiah?
Yeah, Jeremiah.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Nice message.
Yeah.
JC from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Better known as Arkansas.
That's right. Hello, Reverend Peterson. I rarely send a super chat to you, but I'm in a giving mood and have some question.
Okay.
First and foremost, please explain to Hake who Minnie Riperton is. Back Down Memory Lane and Loving You are classics. Plus, he's white, so I know he knows who Maya Rudolph is from SNL, her daughter.
You know who Minnie Riperton was? Loving you is all so beautiful. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Ooh.
I only know Billie Holiday.
Billie Holiday? Minnie Riperton was an amazing singer.
Nice.
And I think she died of cancer, but she was from the old school, but she had a beautiful voice. She really did. It was amazing. And I was young, and I remember her singing. It was like heaven music.
Nice.
Even though she was singing rock and roll. I mean, you know.
Was it country?
No, it was soul music.
Right on.
I guess you call it soul, but she was an amazing singer.
And he has a whole bunch of questions for the Barn Crew. We don't have time for all of them. But he says, JLP, when did you realize you were a celebrity?
I've never realized that. I will never realize that. And I don't want to realize that. What the? Thank you.
Thank you, JC.
Thank you, JC. I appreciate it. And thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, I'll pass along your non-pithy comments to the crew.
Is that the same JC that asked Joel, have you ever received Jesus Christ as your Lord? Have you ever accepted Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior?
How's your walk with God?
Is that the same, JC?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Thank you, JC. I appreciate it.
Very kind.
Yeah.
Tony bought a coffee. Yes, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days when men worked hard and earned their pay. Tell me about those good old days when you were young and men got married and wives bore them sons. Yes, Grandpa, I'm sure they were fine. How we became so blind. ALL in honor of the JLP show. Have a great day, everyone.
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Thank you. I appreciate it. Minnie Riperton died of breast cancer in 1978. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. May her soul rest in peace. She was an amazing singer, that's for sure.
Someone bought a coffee. Hello.
Loving you is all so beautiful. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Ooh.
I can tell she had a great voice.
You care about me singing? About my singing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, someone. Someone
Thank
says,
you, Tony.
Hello, sir. You had a caller the other day who said he didn't want to let go of his hell, and you reminded him that he had a choice. Did I misunderstand that we now have a choice to choose good and evil?
Nope.
Okay.
Amazing. Thank you.
Chill and Lean bought a coffee. Good morning, Jesse. Answer to the biblical question.
Why don't you presume others innocent unless proven guilty?
Because misery loves company.
Interesting. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Hello, if there is no future, why are we investing in anything? I want to be completely free too, whatever that means. And if Goldco is cool, then I will pursue. Just trying to understand, sir. No malice.
You're not invested in the future. You're investing in now. Really, you're invested in now. Did you know there's a spiritual aspect to finance?
I suppose so, yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
A little bit, yeah.
That's why we don't have to worry about finance. It's a spiritual aspect to it, too.
Indeed.
If you're working on yourself.
Right.
Man,
and you don't blow money.
Right.
For example.
You really don't. You find yourself wanting less, so you have to spend less.
Yep.
Because your ego is dying, and you find yourself doing without so much in that when you thought you needed all that, and you really didn't.
Kind of like in escaping the pain and stuff like that and entertaining yourself. you eat the wrong thing in anger.
Absolutely. It's deep. So you're not investing in the future, you're investing in right now. All you have is right now. And God gave you the gift to function on earth, practical gift to function on earth. But he doesn't want you to think that there is no tomorrow, right? So you invest in right now and you'll be fine. And the next moment would take care of the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And the future is an illusion. So check out Goldco. Jesse loves gold.com or call 855-644-GOLD. Amazing. Thank you.
Also from Buy Me a Coffee, someone says, quick question. If you're a black flat earther, you are heard up and down the world by everybody and they mama. And if you're a black ball earther, you heard around the world by everybody and they mama. Just wanted to make sure I understood clearly. Happy Friday and God bless y'all.
You got it. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Jesse, I often hear you ask, do you create your thoughts? Not all, but most will agree that our thoughts come from our senses, things we see with our eyes, hear with our ears, etc. For example, a thought about boozing, as in drinking, may come from seeing a liquor store. That said, I say, our thoughts can be traced back clearly to our senses. I could go on, but keep it pithy. KIP. Appreciate you and the crew very much. Amazing.
Thank you, but your thoughts do not come from your eyes. Your thoughts influence what you see. That's for sure. It makes you think you want what you don't want, or you feel what you don't feel, or you see what you don't see. You really don't see with your eyes. You see with the inner eyes, but not the outer eyes. Amazing. Thank you, though. Thank you. James, hold that. Let me take some calls.
Okie dokie.
I appreciate it. We'll come back to that. The Hake Report. The Hake. I like your shirt. Is that you when you were 12?
Yeah, I had a full beard when I was 12. It says cool.
That's on your site?
Yeah.
Are you going to, how can people get that?
TheHakeReport.com and click on the T-shirts link or the shirts or store link or whatever. Right now it's up on Teespring, The Hake Report.
It's nice, though. It's sharp.
Yeah. It's a design from Lock Your Door.
Oh, Lock Your Door is amazing.
Another guy helped Lock Your Door or prompted the idea, but yeah.
Yeah, Lock Your Door is deep.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Amazing. It's nice.
Thanks.
And you're going to be a guest today on Dippy Do.
Hippy Dippy round table election special. Very fun.
Right on. That should be interesting. Let me go quickly to Kristen, a first-time caller out of Nevada. Kristen, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Kristen.
So I've been listening a lot to your show, and I get a lot out of it. And I had a question about ego, because I have a 8-year-old son, and he's not in my life currently because of issues that the mother of him and I had, and she won't allow me to see him, and she blocked my family, and she blocked me on everything on the phone and social media. So I talked to my dad about it, and he told me to just leave it alone, which I know you say as well. And he just said that basically the same thing you say on if you just don't pay attention to all the noise and you go and live your life, you're going to be a lot happier. And when the time is right, if it's in God's will for you, he'll come back around and he'll see that the mother was just being evil, and that he'll see things for what they are. But I understand that aspect. My biggest thing is, I don't know if it's like a trauma thing, but I was adopted as well. And so I have, my whole life, I always longed for having my own blood in my life. And so when I finally had my son, I was really connected to him, and we had like the greatest bond, and he was my biggest joy. And then when I got him taken from me, my life took a really dark toll, and I had gone through a lot, and I've worked through, I really feel I worked through all of it, but I still find myself, like, when I see pictures of him and I, or just something gets brought up and I think of him, sometimes I'll cry about it. But I was listening to what you said about that being like an ego thing, and I want to understand it better so I can overcome that, because I don't know why I still hurt, or why I'm thinking that I'm hurting, but it's really just ego. Am I like understanding what you're saying about that correctly?
Absolutely. The only reason you cry now when you think about him or you see him, it is because you're thinking about him. And thinking about him is wrong. You need to let all thinking go, and you want to live a life of non-thinking. And your father's right. You just work on you. You overcome the anger, overcome the imagination, and just live in the present. And if it's meant for you to have him back, he will come back, and you'll be ready for him. And he'll be ready because he would have seen for himself that his mother was evil. It'll work out. So stop. Don't get into the thinking about it. Thinking is evil.
Okay.
And when you think about it and you cry, that's not a sign of love at all. That's a sign of ego, thinking about it. And then those thinking about it give you a false sense of emotions. And those emotions make you think you love him and make you miss him, you all that. When it's just about you, it's not even about him.
Okay, yeah, because I was talking with my girlfriend about that, and because we both watch your show, and I said, because I didn't understand the ego part, but we were breaking it down, and it did start to make sense that if you're crying about it, you're crying. It's almost like a call for attention. Like,
yes. And when you cry, you're lying.
Okay, I think, yeah, it makes more sense now. I get what you're saying.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I did it for the first time, I think 2 days ago, and it was I can't even explain how it was just really powerful, and
yes.
I really didn't know if it was going to do anything, but we
hold on. Can you hold for me?
Yeah.
Hold on. A quick break. 1 more hour to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. 1 more hour to go. We're going to move calls when I come back, and super chats. Open Line Friday. Get it off your chest. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy. They're miserable. They have rough lives. They're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Women voting. It's a big mess. This is the end of hour 2 of the JLP Peterson Show. It is Friday, November 1st, the first of the month. Wake up. Rent's due. And so is the mortgage. You have 10 days. Or it's time to collect. Owners based. It is 2024 AD. Daylight saving time ends this Sunday, which means we fall back, at least in America. Except for those of you in Arizona, we're going to be coming on an hour later than usual on church and the radio show. We're going to be falling back from Pacific Daylight Time to Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. So make sure you set your clocks back, or let your smartphones do it if they're so smart. Rebuildingtheman.com/church for church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Check it out. After the JLP show, the Hake Report, JLP will be right back for the third hour, the third and final hour of today, Friday, the 1st of November. The lines are full, guys. But first, Hake news, not fake news. By the way, after the Jesse Lee Peterson show, the Hake Report, and then the Fallen State TV, and then Hake on Hippy Dippy. Check out thehakereport.com/appearances. But then mosey on over to American Anchor, baby, during that, because he will be live. Nice. And no Joel Friday TV on Fridays. You do the math. In battleground states, I told you that women are splitting their vote. They're voting for Trump, but also for abortion. In 10 states where abortion is on the ballot, some women in battleground states splitting their ticket, voting for expanded abortion access, communist buzzword, and for our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Well, that's okay with me since they're voting for Trump. A Washington Post-Char School poll found 68% of Arizona voters and 80% of Nevada voters supported their state's abortion referendum, whatever that is. However, that same poll shows Trump and Vice President cackling Kamala Harris are neck and neck, supposedly, in the two swing states. That's despite Kamala making abortion central to her campaign. She loves the baby killing. Supposed Christian. Joy comes in the morning. And while Trump has made supposedly conflicting statements, taking credit for getting rid of Roe v. Wade and giving it back to the states, but also criticizing state bans as too tough. Some of the state bans. Just his opinion. That's not a conflicting statement. Anyway, no voting group is a monolith, say the ladies at the Skim. Some Trump voters feel reassured by his recent promises not to impose a federal abortion ban, and they agree with him that states should handle the matter. For many Americans, issues like the economy and immigration rank higher on their priority list because they're not petty and evil like lame, ridiculous, silly women. I almost said a different S word like stupid, but don't say that, kids, too much. Meanwhile, Kamala and her campaign are betting big that abortion issue will mobilize voters in so-called conservative states for her, as it did some demon rat candidates in the 2022 midterms. But Trump has always been very reasonable, so they're not going to do it. They've known that it would be difficult to win Republican women and have focused their efforts on undecided female voters. There is a growing gender divide. They love dividing the people. Men from women, black from white, legal versus illegal, and so many other things. By the way, there's more women in jail than ever. That's the fastest, I don't know if it's than ever. Women are the fastest growing population behind bars. Good news. Far left AP says they represent, unfortunately, only 10% of the nation's overall prison population. Should be much higher, I think. Female incarceration rates have jumped from 26,000 in 1980 to nearly 200,000 today. Most women have been locked up for so-called nonviolent crimes because they get away with their violence, that are often drug-related. Wow, these evil women drugging the men and the children. So sick, huh? So it's a big mess. There's prison work assignments, and they're used to lure and R-word, rape female inmates. Guards sometimes walk free. Terrible stuff. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
To stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand
uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm JLP Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773, 888-77-JESSE. And my biblical question, why don't you presume others innocent unless proven guilty? Why don't you presume others innocent unless proven guilty? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JLPpeterson.com. And if you're working out, laying up at a beach, running away from the cartel, being sold into sex slavery thing, or you owe the cartel some money, so you're helping to sell somebody else in sex slave, you could be listening to the show. Isn't that amazing? By calling the listen line on TalkScreen Live at 605-615-4131. 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond JLP Cash Out. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is Express Yourself Friday.
Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
Donald Trump has no character. Well, let me tell you something. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
How do you like my garbage truck?
They treat you like garbage.
He's trying to rape me. Can you help?
Get off her now.
They treat our whole country like garbage with open borders, with...
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
What the?
And church morning is on its way.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
Amazing.
This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Don't mess with Trump. No. Don't mess with Trump. No. Leave Trump alone. Oh, amazing. Let me go quickly back to Kristen out of first-time caller out of Nevada. And Kristen girlfriend won't let him see his baby anymore, and just a mess. So, Kristen, you're now doing the silent prayer, you say, right?
Yeah, we did it like 2 days ago, and we're going to do it again in about probably 20 minutes. But it helped a lot, and I don't know if this had to do with the silent prayer, but I'm assuming it did. But afterwards, I started thinking differently about time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm saying yes, you're right.
Oh, yeah, because I was just sitting down with Allison, and we were talking about how everyone's caught up in being stressed out about the past and worried about the future. And I've always been the same way, but for the first time I had realized that none of it mattered. It's all irrelevant because it's not there. It doesn't exist. And I felt relieved, and it was so, it was just really powerful. And I wanted to just put it out on YouTube or something. I wanted to tell everyone about it because it was just shocking to me because I never thought this way before. And I felt like I finally understood everything, and it made sense, and I wanted to somehow make it make sense for other people. But it was just really kind of weird because I've never looked at time like that. But I just feel a lot more alive. Like I'm able to actually breathe or live now, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. 100%, man. And I'm telling you this, without a doubt, and I promise you, if you stay with it, and practice staying present, stay with now, because if you get lost in your imagination, thinking about the past or the future, about your son and all that, you're going to be back into darkness. You're going to be lost. But if you stay present, you're going to be in the light, and everything will just work out for you. It'll happen on its own. There's nothing you need to do or can do. Just get up every day, go to work, do your practical stuff, buy food, build your house. But when it comes to you, you stay present and you're going to be fine. So the next time you feel something about your son, it's not about your son at all. It's not even real. You let those thoughts go, and then that'll pass, and you'll be fine.
Okay. I can do that.
It's just thoughts. Thoughts about your son. It's just thoughts, and it brings on false feelings. Oh, I feel so sad, or I feel so good, or I love my son, and all that. It's just thoughts. It's all an illusion. And just work on your life, stay present, and you'll be fine. You really will.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse.
How old are you, Krista?
I'm 28.
You're fortunate, man, that you're waking up at such an early age in life. You avoided a lot of misery in your life.
Yeah, it feels good, too.
So stay present. Stay with it, all right?
Okay, I will.
All right, buddy.
All right, thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me go quickly to Jason out of Florida. Jason, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well, Jason.
You can hear me well?
Go ahead.
Awesome. You're doing great work. Love your show. I called in before. I told you I had achieved perfect peace for 10 days and then spoiled it. But I realized afterwards I had been cured of anxiety through that process, which was really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, when you stay out of when you drop the anger and stay out of your thoughts, it's impossible to have anxiety. You can't have it in the light. You can only have it in the darkness of your imagination.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
Amazing.
So, I was thinking about, you had a caller yesterday and a caller earlier today who have trouble forgiving their parents, but it's not because it's hard to do, it's because it's too easy. They have nothing to forgive them for, so they can't. And I was thinking about that. And it seems like, I don't know, it would either be just very easy for them to do and they should just go and do it and not even think about it, or they're actually worried that they'd ruin some kind of dynamic within the relationship. So there's a fear in there.
It's all about fear, and they'll listen to the imagination, and the spirit of evil tells them in their imagination, especially with the mother, oh, you're going to hurt her feelings. She did this for you. That's your mother, and she had you, or she's going to get mad. She's going to go off. It's all in fear. And they have the fear because they're living in the thoughts. And in the imagination, there's nothing but fear.
Yeah.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing. I got a bunch of things to say. Have you ever met anybody who's already overcome before they had your message? Like, have you bumped into real followers of Christ or Christians or whatever we call them?
Yeah, along the way in life, but they're mostly older people, though. You know, I've run into, since working with people around the world, I now meet men and women who are working on themselves, and they are getting there. They're close to it, but mostly older people a couple older people who have, men and women, who have overcome, and they're having an amazing life.
Nice.
So that's why you stay with it, it will happen to you, and you can't make it happen. You just need to see that you're lost in your thoughts, in the anger. You dropped your anger, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning and night?
I feel like I've been doing it my whole life without hearing your message, you know?
Right on.
After hearing your message, I kind of, I was thinking about my life and if there were instances where I was getting, information or inspiration, as it should say, from the Holy Ghost rather than the devil. And it's very few and far between. There's been less than a handful of times, but I think it's been truly, divine or good information that I'm getting. And likewise, I've only met like a handful, maybe 4 or 5 Christians like that inspired me, and that I felt were actually on it. And when I talked with them, they I asked them what church they go to because I wanted to get involved with whatever they were so inspired by, and they laughed in my face. They said, I don't go to a church. What are you talking about? Or they had been kicked out of their church.
Amazing. Well, you stay with it and just stay with it and just stay with it. And practice staying present rather than living in your head and your imagination thinking about the past or future, all right? And just practice staying present. And it can't help but get better. It can't help but be well. It can't help but be fine in the present. You just have to, now at this point, you just practice staying present. You'll be fine, all right?
Okay.
All right, Jason, thank you, man. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Can I ask you some more questions? Or can I speak with you more? I waited a long time.
Okay, another question, and then I'm going to have to run. Go ahead.
Okay. One of these inspirations I had was for a business model that's too big for me to really tackle myself. I need like a lot of people for it. I need maybe $3 million to get it started. It's a charity and not for profit. I probably need counseling with you or something like that to really get into it.
For now, have you read the 7 Guarantee Step?
No, I need all your books. I haven't read any of your books.
Okay, I highly recommend you read the 7 Guarantee Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. If you do what it says, if you do those 7 principles, you cannot go wrong. And it's going to be easier and simpler than you can even imagine. But if you're in your head thinking about you need all this, you need all that, you got to do this, and you got to do that, it's going to be difficult. You end up not doing it. There's a simple way to do all things in life, and it will work for you.
Okay, fantastic.
But you got
check that out.
Yeah, and don't be listening to the experts telling you need a 5-year plan, you need a bank loan, or you need this, or you need that. They set you up for failure. You just need to take the simple steps, one step at a time, and let it happen by itself, and it will.
Okay. One last thing.
Yes, sir.
If you had some graduates, some people, from 20, 30 years ago that were young or at the time, and they've overcome, if there was a perfect marriage, but with a man and a woman having overcome, would the child still need to forgive their parents if they were raised by Jesse Lee Peterson-ianity?
If a child were born into a family, a father and a mother where they had no anger, the child would be fine. They would never have to do it because they will only be of love. Because kids are born with love. It's just that when they come through the mother and she imposes a will on them, her hatred, that's when they change.
Yeah. So the work you're doing, it seems like, like it would take that and then a child being in that state of enlightenment or whatever, and also having that perfect marriage again. And as you were saying, like, take back the country, you need to do this, right? your vision is going to take generations for it to come to fruit. And, you know, I feel like I heard about you when I was 33. Feel like I went through a lot more than I should have because your information is so simple, you know?
Yeah.
And so my business there, I'm trying to reach out to younger people as well. And I think maybe I could help promote you as well into the future.
Well, the one thing I want you to know that the country is never coming back. And,
yeah, probably.
And the reason for that, because only a few people really, really want the truth. Most people lie when they say they want the truth. And the proof is they are unwilling to put their eyes on themselves and die from the false self. They are unwilling to die from the illusion of the imagination. They are unwilling to let the ego die. Only a few people, men and women, are willing to go through that. Only a few will endure that until the end. And so the country is never coming back. But because you're living in a different world now, within you are your world, and you are the universe, you are everything. But it's inside of you. It is done. It is finished. And when you live in that world, your world will be fine. Living in an outside messed up world, you will not be affected by it at all because you're living from a different world. You're living in reality and not in an illusion. When you live from within, Christ said that it is done. It is finished. It is done. There's nothing to think about. There's nothing to feel about. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing but life itself. And most people are not going to find that because they're not willing to give up a false life.
Okay, amazing.
Amazing. But you'll be fine and you'll be in the world, and it's going to blow your mind, but you'll be in the world and not of it. You won't even be thinking about it. You'll just be living it. You would live that no-thinking life. And you would know God and not have this phony belief in God. You can't have faith in God, right? You can't believe about God. Everybody believes. Oh, I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. And it's just a lazy man way out. You have to know him. You can't just believe him. You got to know him, and most people don't know him. So your world will be fine if you just work on you, and then whatever business you want to start, just start it. You can call my office, set up a time that we can talk about this at 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663, or rebuildingtheman.com, and they'll set up a time where you and I can talk about it.
Amazing. Okay.
All right.
All right. I won't take any more of your time.
All right, buddy. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
All right. Love you, Jesse.
Love you too, buddy. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Bailey, a first-time caller out of MI, cricket letter, I, cricket letter, I, humpback, I, Mississippi. Bailey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Reverend Jesse, how are you today?
All is well. You can call me Jesse.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's been a pleasure listening to you for the past couple of weeks. I've been on. I just really popped up. Obviously, from some of the shorts on YouTube.
Yes.
And they do really well to make it draw your attention in. And I sat there and I just listened to what you say, what you speak. I have just never really heard someone in this day and age who is not afraid of accountability. And at the beginning of this year, I said that I've been a musician for my entire life. That's pretty much all I've done since a kid, and it's taken me to some amazing places, and it's taken me to some interesting places. But one thing that you just kind of really, I try to practice accountability. You asked the question, the biblical question for today. Why don't
you presume other innocent until proven guilty, or less proven guilty?
Yeah, and that's such an interesting question, and it's good because from what it prompted me to think about is my own self, obviously.
Yeah.
And any time that I have drawn the conclusion and pushed it off on someone else is when it's really been a way of trying to escape from not holding myself accountable. There have been times where someone has wronged me, quote unquote, and there's people around that know what that wrong is. They or at least they quote unquote know what the wrong is, and instead of joining in with them and saying, oh, woe is me and sorrow, pitiful me, I have to take accountability for my own decisions that led me to that scenario. But in this day and age, it's like that's not happening at all. It's truly what I would consider, and what your show considers, the fallen state. Because, and I'm not trying to take up all your time, but man, it's really good to just hear. It's like you're the last true messenger for not just the country but the world. There's so much biblical prophecies that we're living in, and it really stems all from ego and greed. If we were not greedy, it was greedy for Adam in the very beginning to try to withhold himself from God after he ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We are birthed with greed at that point, and until we get to that point to where we can, if my people which are called by my name would humble themselves, pray, and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways. There's not a lot of people that's wanting to turn, and because it's too much of a quote unquote struggle. But that's, man, I could sit here and talk to you for hours. I want to hush so you could say some things, but you're truly a messenger, and I would even consider a shepherd. And I know that you said I can call you Jesse. If you knew me in person, I'm one who I don't ever give titles to anybody. I've played for the biggest churches. I've played for the smallest churches. I've played for some crazy scenarios and really awesome opportunities. And you just realize that we're just people that are living this experience. And the test is, will we fall into our greed and think that it becomes about us, opposing to fall into submission to God and live through His perfect will, opposing to His permissive will.
Amazing.
But I'm going to hush now because I want to hear from you.
And so, have you dropped your anger?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm still. So I've always practiced the silent prayer when it comes to the doings of it. I just didn't call it silent prayer, but I've always closed my eyes because I've always believed that the enemy, he's the God of this world for a time, and he can hear what we pray. And so when I thought about that, I said, I'm going to start praying in quietly.
You forgave your mother?
Oh, absolutely.
And what did she say when you went and forgave her? How did she react to that?
My mother, I've always had the relationship where when we speak to one another, we can speak fluently and openly. It's never the enemy. I can tell you this: the enemy tried his best to present the circumstances to allow hatred to take place. I never really got to the point of hatred. It was more so of I didn't understand, and that is something that I hated.
And so when you went and apologized for resenting her, what did she say?
Of course, she understood why I would felt that way, not knowing the circumstances, obviously, of her life at the time, because I wasn't taking that into an account. Being that I was so young, and I thought that life kind of revolved around myself. She continued to do what she always does, and loves me with open arms, in the sense of not allowing the conditions to change the kind of unconditional love that she would have.
But what did she say when you went and apologized for resenting her? Did you tell her you were sorry for resenting her for what she did to you?
I told her that I didn't understand. I didn't really understand at the time, and as a kid, I told her, I'm not really sure if that within it that specific framing of wording has ever taken place. I know I've apologized to my mother multiple times for the anger in which I have expressed, and I've never been disrespectful to her. I believe that.
But have you told her you were sorry for resenting her for what she done to you?
Yes, sir. When I told her that I had an issue with, well, this is without getting so deep into her story, because I don't want to share her story, because it's still personal for her.
But let me just ask though, because of time, did you go to her and say, "I'm sorry for resenting you for what you did to me"?
Yes, sir.
And what did she say when you said that to her?
She just, I guess we never really dived into that conversation in the sense of expressing her end.
So are you saying? So you?
She told me. Hold on. She told me that she made the best decision that she could make at the time for us because of the circumstances in her life, and that to me, after sitting back and hearing that, and that's the honest to God truth. I almost called you Reverend Jesse again. After hearing that, and that's kind of what worked the anger or the what did you call it? The not resistance.
The resentment.
Thank you. The resentment. That's what worked that out. Is the understanding and kind of honestly going through scenarios in my own life that would allow me to understand from another perspective as to...
Did you forgive your father for not protecting you from her?
My father did. My father, he actually kind of sacrificed what he had going on to take care of us.
Right on.
During the time for that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
baby, call me again. I gotta run, but call me again.
Man, I will. Thank you. No, thank you,
all right.
Jesse. I appreciate you for everything.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Bye now. I gotta take a quick break. The treasure chest is now open on D Live. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger. because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake Report coming up at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. James Hake, H-A-K, is on fire. James Hake is on fire. And at 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., James Hake is going to be on Dippy Show at 3 Dippy.
Hippy, the Hippy Dippy Roundtable on Dylan Burns TV on Twitch and possibly Dylan Burns Live on YouTube. Not sure.
Hippy Dippy Roundtable.
Hippy Dippy.
Hippy Dippy Roundtable at 3:30 today. And you can watch that and listen to it by going to thehakereport.com/appearances.
That's right.
At 3:30 p.m.
You know who else is going to be there?
Who?
Alex Stein, 99.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Right on. Somebody said, what's up?
Will do.
Amazing. Nice.
Yep.
And then at 12 noon today, a brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv. Royce White and I had an amazing conversation. And Royce is a professional basketball player. Professional basketball player. And he is now running for Senate in Minnesota. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
I smoked weed the first time. I had a massive panic attack where I thought I was dying and having a heart attack.
You must have some of that good weed. Do you create your own thoughts?
Can't have free will if the human mind doesn't have some agency.
The past or the future is just an illusion. It doesn't exist. Am I right?
No, you're not right.
Every human being that has anger is unconscious and they know not what they do.
Oh, no, that's a scapegoat. No, I'm not buying that at all.
At 12 noon today, you can support the Fallen State right there at thefallenstate.tv / donate. The Fallen State, I was reading something and I went unconscious. I was distracted. Thefallenstate.tv / donate. Or click the link and go to locals.com, all right? And at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. At 4 p.m., you never know, a genius. He and not Bill Gates, but the guy from X. What's his name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk could be brothers. Or Elon could be his daddy. Elon has a lot of sons, I hear. He is a genius. Energy everywhere. And Nick doesn't know who his daddy is. It might be Elon. At 4 p.m. Pacific time, you're all welcome to, invited to Fellowship on Sunday. Fellowship on Sunday. Doors open at 10:30 a.m., meetings at 11 a.m. All are invited. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Pacific, Eastern time. All right? And last but not least, set your clocks back an hour on Saturday. Right. Saturday, time goes back. At least in some states, not all states. but some states. Time change. Remember that. Don't forget. This Saturday, time goes back 1 hour. So don't forget. Fall back on Sunday. So Saturday for Saturday night, you'll be there on Sunday. All right, let me go super chats really fast here. I haven't done any. What's up?
JC bought a coffee, different JC. Happy Friday, Jesse, and the Joel Thursday. Jesse, there are people out here using your words for evil. A TV reporter on the street asked someone why she was voting for Kamala, and she said, because she's amazing. What the?
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Nikki bought 3 coffees. No message. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Nikki. That's deep.
Lori bought a coffee. I realized to drop anger means to see, truly, it's not me. I've never been angry in my life. I've been taking credit for the devil.
Right on. Nice. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Amazing.
Truck driver bought a coffee. Senor Peterson, here is something to think about. You will never find a flat earther who is a Democrat or a liberal. And since we are approaching Christmas, I can't let go of the guy that is scared of Santa Claus. LOL.
That's right. Thank you. We had a couple of truck drivers in our fellowship last Sunday.
Indeed.
Hey, to the truck drivers, I'm glad to hear from y'all. Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Angband Art, in the KJV, King James Version, Jesus said, I am not come to bring peace, but a sword. What does he mean? I think that sword cuts illusion, separating you from your false life.
Absolutely. From your false life, from your false family, false friends, false world, everything. He came to divide, not to unite. Isn't that amazing? That's deep. Thank you.
Lori bought a follow-up coffee about being angry versus taking credit for the devil.
All right.
That's what you mean when we've never done bad things in our life. When we forgive, we can stop taking credit for the devil and be free. But only God can cause us to forgive. I didn't realize I was forgiving my father when it happened. We don't control anything, good or bad.
That's right. God does not see you as a sinner or a saint, as right or wrong, as good or bad. You see your false self that way, right? Because you have never done anything wrong in your whole life. I don't care if you're murdered, raped, robbed, steal, lie, cheated, whatever. Got rich or poor. You became rich or poor, have never done anything wrong, so you're not guilty. So why not accept freedom? God is not seeing you that way. Why do you see yourself that way? Because you believe the imagination and emotion. You think you have a free will, and you think you have made the choices to do the things you've done in life, and you have not. That's so crazy to me. I can hardly, it's mind-blowing to see yourself and take credit for something you have nothing to do with. You're worshiping the devil and call him you. Lay down that life. Lay down that illusional life, that false life, so you can live. God said if you want to live, you got to die. Meaning the ego nature must die. That nature that make the decisions for you and you think you're making them. I was talking to Michael, a caller, a while back in the show here. He think he's making decisions to go to another country, to do this and do that, American this, American that. He's not making that decision. He's been influenced in the illusion of an imagination, and he doesn't realize that. I wish him well, though. It sounds like he may at least consider some of the things and look and see. But you're not in control. You have not done anything. All of your sins have been wiped away. You're free. You have been forgiven. It's like you had some credit. God gave you some credit, and you didn't pay it back. And after a while, you say, you know what? Forget it. I forgive your debts. but you won't even accept it. Isn't that crazy? You'd rather think of yourself in a bad situation rather than free. Come out of your prison. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Cactus Eater Bear gave a diamond, a divorce lawyer giving bad advice on purpose.
Yeah.
Husbands, do more chores if you want to save your marriage.
What a bad advice from a lawyer. What the? And what do you think about this quick soundbite I want to play for you?
All right.
I want to show it to y'all too, everybody. A woman prevents a man from getting a lady's number shortly after denying his request for her number. Watch this from X.
Cool if I grab your number though? No. I can't take you on a date? Why? Oh, okay, no worries. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm in love with you. What's your name?
Ashley.
Huh?
Ashley.
Are you from Australia?
No, England. It won't work. It's English number.
Huh? Yeah, it would work. It would work.
You already?
It would work.
Already?
What?
That's fun. Oh, you
Who's this? I have no idea what this girl is.
So he went and asked for her number first, and she said no. And so he walked over to ask for another number, and she's chick. Oh, really? You just have what do you think about that?
That's funny. Women. Shout out.
What do you think of that, Anchor Baby? I can see Joel having fun with that on his show. Huh?
Indeed.
Yeah, that's a Joel Friday show.
Yeah, Joel, do some in real life pickup. That'd be funny.
That's amazing. You a chick. I remember when you can pick up all those ladies. If one said no to you, you just went and got another one.
Indeed. All right, no worries. Oh my God, I'm in love with you. Next girl he sees.
Amazing. Anyway.
Back to the Super Chats.
That was from X. Speaking of X, what's her name? Mama is Republican now. Ex-mama.
Elon Musk's mom?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you see that?
See, the son has become the father.
That's right.
Right on. I didn't see that, no.
I saw that this morning on Fox News. She was saying that she was a Democrat. She thought they were nice, but now she sees they're not at all. And so now she is a Republican. Elon Musk's mother.
Sons lead their mothers.
That's right. The mother become the child, and the son become the parent.
Indeed.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Rocky Road, that was Cactus Eater Bear, divorce lawyer giving bad advice on purpose.
Yeah.
Rocky Road gave 5 coffees. Jesse, let me ask.
Ask.
Is it true that if she crying, she lying?
Yep. When she's crying, she's lying. Amazing. Thank you.
Sion bought a coffee. Jesse, bye-bye, love you, tear emoji. I'm packing my stuff and leaving to mommy Africa. There is Wi-Fi there, so I'll be watching you. You will still be being monitored. Eye emoji. Love you so much, long time, Jesse Boo.
Wow, still leaving?
Yeah.
She's leaving.
I told her to go back to Africa.
On that midnight train to Africa.
And she obeyed, finally.
All aboard on that midnight train to Africa.
That's cool. How do you go to Africa by train?
See, we're going to miss you. What the?
Indeed.
Did you just come from Africa, though? Did she move away back to Africa a while back?
Yeah.
And then she came back.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's going back?
She'll be back.
Yeah, you'll be back. but be safe, Sion. I wish you well. And make sure you keep up with the show, all right?
Indeed.
Let me know when you get there how things are going. I really wish you well.
Get yourself a Starlink.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you.
English bought 10 coffees. Very generous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse, for your wisdom and the daily laughter. You never fail me. Also, I love it when you sing. Do you take requests? If so, anything by Sam Cooke would be amazing.
Amazing. I'll remember that. And thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Kevin from Valley Stream, New York, bought a coffee. JLP, I want to stop drinking alcohol. What do I do when the craving happens? I need help.
Try not to do it, but if you feel like you gotta have it, be conscious of yourself doing it. Pouring up the drink, drinking the drink, and the awareness. Don't judge yourself. Don't try to get all drunk, but don't judge yourself. And the awareness will change it. Really will. But don't be mad at yourself for it. Don't judge. All right? And you'll be fine. Do the silent prayer and be present. Stay present. Amazing.
Did I say Rocky Road earlier? I meant Rocky Rock if I said Rocky Road or whatever I might have said. Rocky Rock bought another coffee on top of his first 5. What's up, Jesse? Can you have Hake put together a playlist of the songs you bust out singing? Quadruple question mark.
We'll work on that. Thank you. Amazing.
Nikki bought a coffee. Jesse, without thoughts, the world outside of me doesn't seem real. Seriously, it feels like I'm dreaming. Is that normal? I don't know if I'm losing my mind in a good or bad way. Distraught emoji.
So they said without thoughts?
Without thoughts, yeah, the world outside of me doesn't seem real.
It's not real. You're now seeing reality. The world itself is an illusion. Right on. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Soul Conscious, 3 coffees.
Amazing.
Jesse, biblical question.
Why don't you presume others innocent rather unless proven guilty?
Because I loved judging and got a good feeling from it back then.
That's right.
And suggesting that he has stopped.
Right on. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Lynn, 88 Truth, over on X, says, good morning, Jesse. I've been listening to you since you were on Roseanne.
My friend Roseanne.
Roseanne Barr, that is.
Right on.
I did everything
Roseanne's birthday is today. I think it's today. If not, it's this weekend, I believe.
Nice.
Amazing. Hey. Happy birthday, Roseanne.
Yeah. Shout out. I did everything you said, and my entire life has changed thanks to you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. And stay with it, and stay with it, and stay with it. Thanks for your support as well.
Andre, I believe he's talking about Minnie Riperton. Wasn't she black?
She black. But I think, I could be wrong, but I think she had a white husband.
She might have been kind of light-skinned.
She expired at 31 years old. So what?
No, she did have a white husband, Richard Rudolph, the father of Maya Rudolph.
Yeah.
Is that a white husband or a Jewish husband?
White. I don't know if a Jew.
No, Rudolph, I just don't know.
Because all the talented showbiz whites are Jewish.
All of them.
I'm exaggerating, but yeah.
But yeah, she was black. She had a white husband. And I remember as a young person when she was expired, it was a big deal that she had gotten cancer. You heard all on the news. And she was expiring. Amazing. Thank you.
I'm laughing because I'm seeing a coffee from Sion. Sion bought another coffee. It's long live, Hake. Not love you, long time, LOL. That's Chinese stuff. I can't read today.
You said it's long live?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, Hake?
I don't know.
Hake.
All right. Well, thank you, Sion. And shout out to Andre over on X. And shout out to the top contributors on D-Live, Cactus Eater Bear, Games for Rec, Misty, Wolf336, Groovy Monkey, Kid Combo 1.0, Army Ann. Thank you all for the lemons and ice cream and diamond. Very cool. And thanks, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you. Let me move as many calls as possible. Jeff is the first time caller out of Colorado. Jeff, thanks for calling. Thanks for waiting. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse, for taking my call. The reason I'm calling you is I became awakened to the evilness of women by taking a class with 25 women and 5 men. It was a relationship class, and what we did is we studied the book, The Proper Care and Feeding of Your Husband. I don't know if you've heard that book or have read that book. It was written by Dr. Laura Schlesinger in 2009. And she explains in the book exactly what's going on today, why men are emasculated. And that book really opened my eyes to how women treat us, and I just wanted to share that with you and your listeners.
Right on. Well, don't hold it against women. Don't hate them. It's not them. It's the spirit inside, and there are women who are working on that to overcome. All right.
Well, I don't hate anyone, and what I've learned through the book is that it's in their DNA. You have to accept them for who they are.
Well, it's not in the DNA. It's in the spirit, but not the DNA. Did you forgive your mother already?
Oh, my mom has been passed for a while, but yes, I forgave my mom and my dad years ago. I went through. I was part of a self-help group for over 11 years, where we met once a week and met with a mentor for once a week, and it was called "Go Wash Your Parents' Feet."
Right
on. So you would go and wash their feet and ask them for forgiveness. And my mom was my best friend.
Right on. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I gotta run. I don't mean to rush. But because of time, I got to run. Thank you, Jeff. Let me go to Vicky out of Texas. Vicky, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Well, good morning from Texas, brother.
Hey, Vicky, how are you?
I am doing so well, Jesse.
You crossed my mind the other day, and I'm like, I wonder how Vicky doing. I haven't heard from her in a minute.
Been busy out here on the ranch working hard, Jesse.
How do you feel? How do you feel knowing that Texas is turning blue?
I don't think it is. No, it depends on who you ask and geographically in Texas where you're at.
And why you don't believe it is?
Because we get around a lot. We have to go a lot of places to pick up things for the ranch and stuff all over Texas. We're directly in the heart of Texas,
I know, but why don't you believe it's not? Why do you believe it's not turning? Why do you believe it's not turning blue?
Well, we're in the rural section, and neighbors get along. Neighbors love one another, and everybody is loves God very much.
But why do you believe Texas itself? I'm not necessarily talking about your neighborhood, but why do you believe? Because I'm hearing from other people, even a lot of conservative, and that guy that running for office. What's that guy's name? That he got mad at Trump last time for talking about his wife.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz even saying that.
Yeah, he's Rhino.
And so, why you don't believe it's turning blue?
Well, I think it's in certain cities, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm out in a rural town. That's all I'm saying is in the cities, maybe, right? There's more blue thinkers.
Right.
But those are people that are coming from L.A. and all over California are going to Austin and a lot of Houston now, and a little bit of Dallas-Fort Worth. But anywhere outside of that, it's full on red. We're hardliners.
Isn't that the way it always happens? You get the city first, it turns blue, and then they spread out into the suburb area, and eventually turn the suburb into blue.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. But I think Texas is pretty strong, regardless.
I hope so.
There are a lot of like-minded people here, more than you think.
Right on. And the governor, is that a pretty decent guy?
He's okay. I mean, I think he could have done a lot for our border because we're just so overwhelmed with illegals here. It's insane, Jesse. And some of those people that you hear about being displaced, the illegals into different... It's happening in Texas, too, but nobody's talking about it, right? But that's happening as well.
What a mess.
We're overloaded, but it's okay though, bro. But we need men. Here's what I get from all of this is we started speaking 4.5 years ago, and I love God. We have a relationship, and I can see that it really truly is men. We women need help out here, and it seems like we're around. Well, I'm not in my home, but outside of the home, I see men as being like females. And
let me ask you this because we got to run here. Is Trump going to win?
I believe he is going to win. I don't think the Democrats are going to in January. Let him take office.
Did you vote already?
Absolutely, early.
Right on. Vicky, it's good to hear from you. Hopefully Trump will win and make America great again. Thank you,
Let's
Vicky.
bring that spirit back as
That's
fathers.
right.
I
That's
love
right.
you, bro.
You too. I love you as well. Thank you for calling.
Take care.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye, bro.
Bye. I am out of time. The Hake Report coming up now. The Hake, Hake report.com. And then at 12 noon, the fatherstate.tv, thefatherstate.tv. 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. And I'll see you on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. Get on that straight and narrow, folks. Forgive your mother, forgive your father, and God will forgive you. Give you a brand new mind. Change your heart from anger to love. We got to love one another. If you don't love all, you love none. Jesse, a first-time caller out of California. Ari out of Canada. Mike out of Los Angeles. And somebody just dropped. I am out of time. Have a good weekend. I'll be back tomorrow. Monday. I'll see you on Sunday, though. Don't forget to set your clocks back 1 hour on Saturday. And the Hake Report is coming up now. Get ready. If you have not seen it, you don't know what you're missing. He's on fire. He ain't got that red hair for nothing. That hair is on fire. Have a good weekend, folks. And thank you, Super Chatters. I appreciate your support. And donation, those who donate to Barn as well. Take care, folks. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church.